our call for the sake of those who aren't here. And so I'm going to share a PowerPoint for the sake of those who are here. We have PowerPoint. There we go. Services action. You guys probably remember this one because I show it every year when I do services action. But I'm trying slideshow from the beginning. Welcome everybody to Bible. I hope more people come. We've got Luisa and Andika. Please turn on your cameras. Andika and Luisa, since you're new, like to just go over a couple of things. We are going to be starting our services action today. We want to have it finished before Christmas. Usually, and what will be happening in the future for the lower grades, I know you guys, this is your last year of services action, but services action is going to be taken care of while on field trips. And so this year, obviously, we can't go on field trips. So we're going to be doing it before Christmas, getting it out of your hair so that when you are doing your essay and your personal projects, they don't have similar timelines. So your service action is finished before Christmas. Your personal project is finished in February and March. So you're not going to be conflicted with those. But you do, Andika, need to complete your essay before you're allowed to go on to grade 11 and your personal project. So this is very important that you stay here and you listen. Service is action. Welcome. We're going to have just a brief talk about what service is, those kinds of things. So my introduction questions, and instead of having you guys write these down, there will be a point where you have to write things down, I promise. But for today, I have a question. Oh, first question is, what is service? Can anybody tell me what a service is? There's a lot of different meanings for the word. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Shout it out, otherwise I'll call on people. This is the easiest question, just so you know, of all the ones that have come. So if you're gonna go out on a limb, this is the one. Asiya.
Doing something for someone else.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Oh, wait, must be my microphone. But doing something for someone else.
Doing something for someone else. Give me an example.
Like volunteering work, when people volunteer to help, and it's for somebody else's benefit, and it's in the service of others.
Okay, so using the word to describe the word. Yeah, that's always a good approach. Thanks, Asiya. What is service? Let's go with Eugenia. Daya.
Basically helping people out or serving people.
Helping
doing
people out.
Work voluntarily.
Voluntarily. Okay. Add to that. Jovan. I can't hear you, Jovan. Earth to Jovan. I know you have to. Oh, yep. What is service? Tell us what service is.
Service is when you serve someone or something.
This is almost worse than my grade sixes, I tell you. You guys, don't use the word service when telling me about service, trying to tell me what it is. Service is doing things for other people that they either can't do for themselves or that they can't, but they might need help with or don't have the time to do. So there is a service industry in the economy. Okay, that service industry is like things like laundry. People do your laundry. People cook you food. You need food, right? You need it. They provide needs. Services is helping people with their needs, doing things that people often can't do themselves. So, what ways can you serve? What are ways that people can serve? When you hear the word service, those types of things, what are ways people can serve? Stephanie, tell me a way people can serve.
Always by helping others.
By helping other people. Yeah.
Yeah.
With like simple tasks, like I think of like elderly ladies who can't walk, or people who aren't able to do simple tasks. They have people who serve them, right? They help push them to the park. They cook them food. They clean their houses. Those kinds of things. What other ways can people serve? Cha-cha.
Um, I think also helping people, but like without hoping that we can get reward. I think.
Get a reward. So service is about a reward. Interesting. That's an interesting take. Hit us up with another one, Kezia.
I think, for example, it's like volunteering for preparing food for like the need children.
Yeah, preparing something for people in need. Have you ever heard of the term somebody serving in the armed forces? Somebody in the army serving? You guys have heard of that? Why is that service?
You're serving for your own country.
Serving your country, doing something for the people, right? The people live in your country. So doing something for the population that they can't do themselves. Can my daughter, who's 2, defend off from the bad guys with guns? No. Can you? No. You might think you can when you play video games, right? But realistically, you're not that old yet. You're not ready to put your mind through it. But people serve by putting their lives on the line for others. They're protecting. Firefighters serve, right? They go into the places that are burning, car accidents. They put themselves on the line so other people don't have to. They do things for people for which they can't do themselves. Police officers, doctors, nurses, they're serving, right? Those are ways we serve. We do things for other people that they can't necessarily do for themselves, or they don't have the means to do for themselves. Now, we talk about service as action. We have to do it because we're an IB school, but why should we learn about and practice service in a Christian school? Anybody want to tell me why we would even do this? Where does it fit into who we are? Okay, Louisa. Answer this one.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I think one of the characteristics that Jesus Christ showed on earth was that kind of a servant to others. I think there's like a Bible verse explaining that he led by serving others or that. So I think that Christians would want to reflect what Jesus did on earth by serving as well.
You know what? That's a great answer. And I was going to ask more people, but you kind of hit the nail on the head. Thanks, Louisa. I'm trying to get my little thingy with all your faces on it smaller. But yeah, why do we serve? Well, Jesus calls us to serve because we imitate him. Our greatest debt has been paid, right? We were destined to the grave in our sin, but Jesus paid the price. And now we have new life in him. And now we don't live for ourselves, right? We live for Christ. So what do? We follow his example. We imitate. I think of Lydia, my daughter. She walks around just the same way I walk. And it's like, oh, wow, she's doing what I do. She's imitating me. And it's kind of the same with us. But Jesus came into this world as God, all powerful, could heal people, all those things. Yet personified service as he washed his disciples' feet. So many stories and myths from the past have people who are God figures who come and everybody serves them, right? They have to give them things. But this God, Jesus, comes, and instead of being the one who served, he serves, right? He heals those who are broken and sinful, right? He goes to the destitute, the outcasts, the lepers, those people who nobody wanted anything to do with. He says, I'll come to your house. I'll heal you. I'll spend time with you. He didn't do it for a show. He didn't do it for popularity. Instead, he wanted those he healed to go assured that they were forgiven of sins and to tell of what God has done. God doesn't bless you to make you happy. Did you know that? He's happy that you are happy after he blesses you, but it's to increase our testimony of the goodness of God. You guys might remember Zia. He was in our grade 8 class the last time I had you, and he was talking about, or he was wondering if his service action would be good for a college resume, right? He was thinking about service action as something for himself, right? We can do things. We can help people. We can change the world. We can save the environment. But the heart behind it is what matters. And that's what we care about here. You can serve till you're dead tired. But why are you doing it? Are you doing it for yourself in your college? Or are you doing it so other people would be able to experience the goodness of God through you? So service is doing things for people that they can't do themselves. And so if you're actually doing it for them, you wouldn't make it about yourself, because then they're just a front for you doing something for yourself. Pretty selfish, I'd say. Another one, we follow Christ's example in Galatians 5, verse 13. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather, serve one another humbly in love. Jesus says, you have been given so much. I've set you free from your sins. And now that you've been set free, you've been blessed, don't just waste it on yourself. He didn't come here to set you free to be your own little gods. He says, now serve one another humbly as Jesus did. Jesus came as God, humbly loved you and me and those around him. We also do services action at our school because it's in our IB blood. It's one of the characteristics. You have to do it in order to move on to grade into the DP program. And so that's why we cover it here in Bible, because it fits so well with the teaching of Jesus, but also the requirements of the IB. So the purpose of services action is broken down into 7 things. Throughout your years in the MYP, you're going to hit these targets of what we want you to learn while you are in our class or in the MYP. And so there'll be a chart where you'll see it, but we want you to nurture you to become knowledgeable of the needs and actively care for them. One day you're going to leave our school. Service action isn't about you changing the world for our school. It's about helping you, shaping you in a way that when you're out of here, when you're not in our school anymore, you can see a need, you can see a problem, and you know, and you have the skills to do something about it. Because a lot of people go their whole life seeing a problem like, I just don't know what to do about that. I have no experience. I hope somebody does something for that person who's hurting. But you guys, through services action, you'll be given tools to be able to do that without worry of, am I doing it wrong? You have the skills needed to do it. Next, you motivate you to bring restoration to a broken world as Christ's hands and feet. We want you to do it without making it about yourself. We want you to do it humbly and with love to bring restoration, seeing a problem in the world and making it better. So I want you to think about this question. What are problems in the world? It's easy for me to think of them right now. Like, go through the news, you see there's problems in the world. Jot those ideas down. What are problems in the world that you see? Big problems, little problems, might be abuse, might be drug addiction, might be human trafficking, wars, or governments oppressing their people. I think of like Afghanistan right now, North Korea, China. The crimes against humanity are just huge. Yemen, other places where you feel really bad for these people because their own governments have turned on the people. And so what is a problem? Think of problems in the world that you see today. Then what can you do to help solve this problem? what kind of things do you do or that you have control of that could help, that could bring maybe shed light for other people, maybe do research that people in Africa who don't have clean drinking water, you can do the research on their behalf, or you can, I think of like our life expectancy project in grade 7, right? Things that you have gifts, you've been blessed with technology, a great education, right? How can you help solve these problems, bring restoration to a broken world? So keep that in your mind. Keep those things on your paper. Problems, you're supposed to write this down, Andika, okay? And possible solutions. Now, you don't have to do these. I just want you to be getting in the process of thinking about it. But when we do service, you are going to find your service to fit into 4 categories. There's going to be direct service. That's where you're tutoring the student that can't read or needs math help. That's where you are in the community helping to dig the well, or like we did on our field trip, go to the school, teach the classes, play the games, those kinds of things. Indirect would be like behind the scenes. So you're making the curriculum, the things that the people who are in direct contact with them, you're building the water pumps and those kinds of things, and you're sharing them with the people who are there directly. So you're the behind the scenes. Then there's research. And I think of problems like cancer, hunger, all those kinds of things where there's a lot of people serving people who are affected by them, by doing research, by experimenting, possibly finding new ways of treating or medicine or plant growth or whatever it is. They're doing research behind the scenes to help. And then the last one is advocacy. I think of human trafficking. One of the best things you can do to help with that problem is advocacy. Open up people's eyes to what's really going on in the slavery that we still have today, and being able to be the voice for those who don't have a voice. That's service too. And so when you're doing your service action this year, you're going to be doing forms and things like that, but it's going to fit whatever action you choose for your service is going to fit within one of these 4 things, and being able to identify that is important. We have learning outcomes for you. We want all of our kids to become aware of their own strengths and areas of growth. You're going to reflect at the end of this. You're going to do a reflection portion of your essay. We also want you to undertake new challenges, develop new skills, know where you're strong, but realize that in order to help people, you might have to be stretched in new ways too. Then discuss, evaluate, and plan your own activities. You got to be initiated. You have to have the ambition to do it yourself. And we want to enable you, but also watch you do it. And then finish the job, persevere in action. Don't quit halfway when it gets hard, or when the desire runs dry, or when you feel get any confrontation. It's just, this is yours. Run with it and finish the race. Continued. You need to be able to work collaborating. Some of you guys are going to be in groups. How do you work well with groups? Because remember, this group isn't about a grade. This group isn't about you being with your friends. This group is about you providing something for someone or something that can't do it themselves. It removes you from the equation and makes the focus on others, which is good. And then we want you to develop international mindedness through global engagement and cultural understanding, those kinds of things. We just want you to just don't be focused on what's going on in your world. Open up your mind to the problems around, and then understanding that sometimes helping hurts people, right? If your solution is just to give somebody money, congratulations, you fed them for 5 days, right? Or you contributed to their drug problem because you gave them their fix for 5 more days. Or maybe instead of doing that, you choose, I'm going to teach you a skill, show you how to work. There's that saying where if you feed a man, or if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime, right? There's different ways to help, and it's not always money. Really, the Bible describes money as the root of all evil, right? So it has its roles, but I mean, it might not be the best solution all the time. So what you guys need to write in your notes in grade 10, well, grade 6 all the way up to grade 10. So in grade 6, you focused on family issues. Grade 7, community. Grade 8, we did our trip to the school in Lampung, right? School and education in general. Grade 9 was national problems. issues in Indonesia. And now grade 10 is international related issues. That is your scope. That's where your focus is going to be. And what we want from you is really, you're going to combine all of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, but the one you're going to reflect on more is developing international mindedness through global engagement, multilingualism, and intercultural understanding. That's your focus. Those are the things you're focus. Don't veer from those. Make it the purpose of your SA. While you're doing this, okay, we have forms. Those forms can be found in the task and manage back that's due on December 6th. They're a lot shorter than in the past. However, they're all going to follow this, this framework, okay? You're going to investigate, you're going to be planning and preparing, you're going to take action, you're going to reflect, and you're going to demonstrate. Our demonstration this year is, again, a documentary, home-based learning, okay? Throughout the process, everything you do, take a video of it, take pictures, whatever it is. We want a video from beginning to end of what you did for your services action. We want it to be 5 to 10 minutes. Obviously, you'll have more than 5 to 10 minutes of things that you did, but show us through this process what is going on. So the essay forms are our way of making sure that you're actually going through the proper steps. And so those can be found in Manage Back. You go through them, filling in your information. Once you have it approved, then you set up an activity in Manage Back. There's a video on that in the description. And then with that, I sign off and then you start working. These forms are our way of making sure you go deep, figure out how you really help this community, the area of your focus, and it keeps you accountable to the tasks and doing them on time. So it's not just 3 days before it's due, you're trying to get everything in. So what I want for you right now, without talking to other people, brainstorm ideas based off of your grade level scope. So based off of grade 10s that we wrote down, areas of which you have passion for, or you already have skills, things that you see as issues in the world. Then decide on what type of service you want to do. So do you want to do direct? Do you want to start going to the refugees? I think there's a lot of refugees in Indonesia that come from other countries of the world because they're fleeing for their lives. If they stayed in their country, there's a good chance they would die. Okay. Now that's not migration, right? That's called refugee. Okay. Not a migrant, a refugee. And so the important thing is figure out how you want to serve. Then you're going to share that with me privately. Okay, once you've hammered out, yes, this is what I want to do. And if I see that there's other people who are on the same boat or thinking the same way as you, maybe they have the same problem or the same issue that you have, but they want to do indirect and you want to do direct, you'll be in a group so that you're working together to support each other. And then, sorry, my internet. And then with that, I'll find you possible partners. They might not be your friends, they might be your friends, but the important thing is I want this to be something that you're passionate about, not this is a group I want to be in, because the important thing is making this something that you are going to just want to do. I don't want you to be forced to feel like, man, this is something that's hard for me because I don't like the area that I'm serving. It's all based off of what you want to do, and you have to do something. But after you have been approved, some of you might be put into groups. Some of you are going to be on your own because there's nobody else who wants to do what you're doing or be a part of the same kind of task. And then you start your proposal, your forms, action plans. Then you take action, you reflect, capturing it all on video or pictures, and we make our demonstration. Tips for getting started: when you have come up with an area or whatever, if you look at your global issues, think of what is broken and dislocated in your scope. So what out there is broken and what does it look like to help? Then start to imagine like, oh, this is where I see there's broken. Now imagine, I wonder if I could do this. What would this look like? I have a dream to start this kind of whatever, and then start planning and then create redemptive actions towards restoration. We don't just want it to be, oh, I noticed this and this is what I saw. We want you to help make it better in a real way. Bring restoration, taking something broken and making it good again. Just this flow chart. I'm going to post this video to Manage Back as well, or to Teams. So if you want to come back and watch, you can. But I want to leave you with this verse before I let you loose on your learning. But John 1 or 1 John 3:16-18. By this we know love, that he, Jesus, laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for the brothers, so for others. But if anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother in need, yet closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? Little children, let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and in truth. That's what this is all about. Let's just not talk about problems of the world. Let's love those people who are suffering by deed, by doing. Do you guys have any questions before I stop the recording?